See? See, I don't even pay attention.
I'm really happy to be here today. I love any excuse to talk about carousels and Marcus Charles Illions, my grandfather's first cousin, who actually brought my grandfather to this country. He sponsored him in the early 1900s. Marcus came reportedly in 1888. His ship arrived in the middle of the great snowstorm, in early March of that year, and his ship was headed for New York, but apparently got waylaid to Boston. And somehow managed to get the frozen carousel horses and the many, many live animals as well that were headed for an amusement park to New York, to Coney Island. I have no idea how that happened, but that's the story. I grew up in Long Island in a town called Rockville Center, New York, and I didn't know of my family's background or relation to the carousels until I was in my early 20s, mid-20s actually. I also didn't know that in the park, Hempstead State Lake Park, where I often went for various activities, that on the other side, near the other entrance, was a carousel that was an MC Illions carousel. Never knew this. When I moved to Amherst, Massachusetts, I also didn't know, even though I knew the connection by then, that there was a carousel carved by Marcus Charles in Agawam at what was Riverside Park and is now Six Flags. And that is a very special carousel for many reasons. One of which is that when that carousel was originally commissioned, Marcus Charles was angered by the person who commissioned it, who was rushing him. And he considered himself a great artiste and should not be rushed. So in a little exercise of passive aggressiveness, he made one of the horses, an American Beauty, a very prominent gendered horse. I'll pass around this picture. And it's there. It's there. It's not always on because they rotate horses in order to fix and repair whatever ones are damaged and worn out. In about 1981 is when I became aware of the family connection. And at that point I started doing some family history research, which I continue to do. And I intend to write 2 books based on Marcus. Both historical fiction, because I don't have quite enough information. One of his granddaughters, who passed away about a year and a half ago, named Ruth Pease, out in the Los Angeles area, I interviewed her over the phone and actually met her about 4 years ago. And I have many audio tapes of my interview with her and her sons. Mike Pease has also been doing a lot of family history research. And he remembers when his grandfather, who was one of the sons of Marcus, would come to Sunday dinner and talk about the stories of how all this came about, how he came to the country and what his experiences were. And I'm going to pause for one moment to change out the batteries in the videotape, so please forgive me.
Oops.
Okay.